Well, hello there, paradigm shifters. Judymatejczyk here. Wow. That's all I can say is wow. It is April 26th, 2022. And yes, it is Transformation Tuesday again. And we've been coming and doing these since August of 2020 every week with speakers that come and shift and uplift the entire planet, which is that is our mission. And as of this morning, we have 1,410 members. And we appreciate each and every one of you and all the difference that you're making in the world today. So, as we continue our month of April and the topic of springing into action, we've had some dynamic speakers, and boy, it is such my pleasure to present, Erin Davenport, Erin Davenport, and I first met you. We're both of, Brave Thinking Institute and Life Mastery Consultants, but I wanted just to tell everybody the passion that you have for life and your work just so inspires me. And you're you're the CEO and life coach at lightofthetraveler.com. And I love that. And that you live in Nashville, Tennessee. You're recently married to Colton. I love that. And that you bring well over 13 years of experience as an inspirational speaker, a philanthropist, international philanthropist, which really touches my heart, and a certified transformational life coach. And I wanted just to show everybody this book, Short, Sweet, and Sacred, that a couple of us have, stories. And this was Erin's baby, and you're about to birth another one in June. So, with that, welcome so much. And I'm going to just turn this over to you, Erin. And once again, thank you so much for being here. Tell us a little bit about yourself, why you're doing what you're doing, and then take it on. Take it on.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Judy. It's an honor and a privilege to be here and also to be collaborating with you with those short, sweet, and sacred books. It's just been such an honor. And her story is so powerful in there. So definitely check it out. Okay, so a little bit about me here. So I love being today a full-time life coach. I left my 9 to 5. I left a nice, cushy 6-figure job. I thought I had made it. And I realized there was something that was missing, and that was a sense of freedom within my life. Being able to decide when and how and where I would love to go visit my family and spend time with the people that I love. Because through some circumstances in my past in my life and losing people that were so meaningful to me, I realized just the value of time and that it's here and we have this moment. And past that, I'm not so sure. But what I do know is that we can choose to live this moment to the fullest. And that's why I'm so passionate about what I get to do today to help people to also live a life that is worthy of their time and attention. And so for today, focusing in on springing forward and taking action. And along with that, I think there's an essence of something that's important I'm going to cover, and that is fear. Because when it comes to taking action, absolutely fear is going to come to the surface. And to showcase what it looks like to navigate through the fear, because there's something that's on someone's heart to still move forward in service of their dreams, I'd love to share a story with you, because there are so many elements within here I think that you'll find could be helpful right now for you as you're looking at decisions to make within your own life, or it's going to come to the surface later down the road when you're at a crossroads and you are making those decisions that are important for your dreams and the things that you are creating in your life. And so I'm going to go back on a journey with you, and it's going to be 2009. And I'm in college, and I am just having the time of my life. And I am waiting to hear back the results in the news of I've applied to volunteer internationally for a year and to decide to serve others. And this has been a dream of mine since I was a child. I was one of those nerdy children who was watching National Geographic films when they were 4 years old over and over again. I connect with Judy very well when I see pictures of nature and hearing her story that's coming out in the new Short and Sweet and Sacred. Very much am someone who loves nature as well. And so watching those films and also just knowing that there's such a big world out there and I want to explore it. I want to get to know other people. And I also have a heart of service. So I'd love to make an impact that's positive and be able to go on an adventure. And what better time? But I believe any time. But I thought back then, while I'm in college, to take a gap year and to lean in and to take that kind of adventure. And so I had applied to 3 different places. And they require you to put 3, but if I could have put the same one for all of them, it would have honestly been Australia. At that time, I was just so like drawn to it. I thought it seemed so magical and scuba diving, and the position there was to work with high school students and to be a mentor. And I thought that that was perfect. I had been working at camps up in the mountains of Colorado for the past couple summers, getting to work with youth and seeing how I made an impact on their lives in a positive way of being able to cultivate just incredible community and helping them to work through really difficult issues and things they're navigating as teenagers. Most people run the other way when they think of working with teenagers, but I'm just like, no, that's exactly who I would love to work with. And so I had applied. Number 1 was Australia, 2 was Denmark. And then the 3rd one, just because I felt like I had to fill it, was Kenya. So those were the 3 choices that I had. And so I remember it was a while after applying. It was Christmas break. I'm at home and I know it's like the day that I'm supposed to hear back. And I was told ahead of time. So I sit down on my laptop, I open it up and I see the email. It's arrived. I am so thrilled. I am so pumped for what I am going to be doing for the next year of my life. And so I click on the email and I open it up and my smile turns into a frown. I am just like, you can just see my mood shift almost instantly as I'm scanning through this email. And I realize I've been offered a position in Kenya, the last place that I actually chose that I wanted to go, but didn't actually really want to go there. And it was to work with elementary school students. And I was like, I don't know how to work with elementary school students. I was so frustrated because every single position I chose specifically to work with high school students, because I thought that that was exactly what would be the best fit for me, because that's what I was familiar with and comfortable with up until that point. Mm. So think about in the back of your mind, if you've been through your journey on this planet, and if there have been times when you had your mind set on something and you thought that it was exactly turning out the way it was, supposed to be, and then it didn't. And there was some kind of shift in you could call it the results or how it was all going to work out. And so that's where I was at. And they offered me this position. I remember just my dad walked in and I was just like, I've been offered this position to go to Kenya. That's more of an adventure than I had thought I would want to go on. I mean, would I live in a hut? Would I live in a house? Like, what is this going to look like? And this is an entire year of my life. And what if I fail because I don't know how to teach? That's not even my degree in college. I'm studying journalism. That's completely different. And I thought that they had made a mistake because what did they see within me that they thought I could be a teacher of that kind of, teaching young people? And so what I did was I made a decision to email them back. And I told them that I'm not comfortable being a teacher. I don't know how to do that. And, I feel kind of let down that I didn't get the position that I had wanted. And I told them that it was a no. I told them, I know, I know. I just was so full of fear, to be honest. I was so afraid because, Australia, I could envision and picture that. Like I had watched many videos and like traveling, and read a lot about traveling there. And it was just it felt so familiar. And I knew the housing was going to be just like where I lived. And I would be working with the type of people, students that I had been already mentoring up at camp. So it just felt like it just made logical sense. And what was presented to me, the door that opened was like feeling like I was taking another leap and a bound off a cliff and like hoping that I land safely on the other side. And so I shut my computer and I just let it go. But I felt tormented all weekend. The whole weekend, my mind could not rest. It was like, did I make a mistake? And then the gremlins were running around in my head, just telling me all the reasons why I failed somehow. I must have failed somehow at doing something wrong. Maybe I selected the wrong places. I had been asking for this opportunity for so long. So why is it not working out the way that I had pictured? Why is it not even going to work now at all? This is what I had been looking forward to for a very, very long time. And so I basically was watching TV, just finding ways to numb my mind because of the decision I had made wasn't resting comfortably with myself. And as I was sitting on the couch, this new thought came into my mind and this conviction just washed over me. It's like, Erin, you've been given the opportunity to do what you had asked for, and the door had been open to you. And it was always to go and to serve others and to go live abroad and experience a new culture. And I'd only been thinking about myself. I had only been thinking about my ego, about how uncomfortable I was going to be doing that instead of going back to my why. And that was to be of service to others. And so I had this, just like I said, this conviction wash over me. And I was like, oh my goodness, I've made a mistake. I've made a mistake. And I thought, how can I make this right? I can't believe I said no to the door that opened to me, but I can do something about it. So I pulled open my computer and I sent them an email and I apologized for my rash decision. And I told them that, I believe that, they offered me that position and it was the position that I'm meant to take, that they offered that for a reason. And so I sent that email and I received an email back a couple days later. And it was, we've already filled the position with somebody else. And I was like, okay, you've got to be joking. I feel like I'm on a roller coaster at this point. I'm just like, my emotions are just all over the place. And it was devastating to receive that email that I thought I was doing the right thing by emailing them back. And I did feel like I felt good about myself that I had made that decision to let them know and to apologize. So I did feel good about myself in that way. And then the thought came in, let your yes be yes and your no be no. And today, as a life coach, I understand that successful people make decisions quickly, efficiently, and they rarely change their mind. And so those are some things I was learning through that point in time. I just didn't know that's what I was learning. And so a little bit time goes by, it's during break, and I just totally surrender all of it. I just realize I can't control it. I can't make it do what I want it to do. Like, I'm just going to trust the process. I talked to my dad and he said, whatever is meant to happen is going to happen. And it was Christmas break. So, just focused on spending time with family. And then I went and I checked my emails again. And to my surprise, there was another email that showed up in my inbox. And it was from the volunteer team. And I clicked on the email and it said, we would love to offer you in Kenya a position as an elementary school teacher. And we're going to open up a brand new position just for you. And we're also going to give you a mentorship role at the high school as well. And we would love for you to come this next year. And it turns out their main teacher was going to have a baby and they were looking for somebody that specifically at this period of time would be able to take over the school with the other person and be able to run it. And I became that person. And so it was just this incredible journey of really realizing that, there's something that's on our hearts. It's there for a reason. And there is going to be fear. There's always going to be fear when we're learning, when we're growing. Because the fear is that human side of us that wants to stay comfortable, wants to protect the ego. It's the part of me that's like, I don't want to fail in front of other people. What if I let these kids down? What if I go there and I can't make it through the year because it's so uncomfortable and I don't know how to deal with it? But those were all the reasons I was telling myself why I can't. Instead of leaning in from the infinite side of my nature that is limitless in possibility and telling myself and reminding myself about why I can. And so not only did that decision to go to Kenya create an amazing year that is a hallmark within my life. And by the way, I loved that role as an elementary school teacher. It was so much fun. And the kids from years after that point were always like telling the teachers, like, we miss Erin. You know, we loved working with Erin. And it just was so amazing in so many ways for me and the people that I got to impact in a positive way. And even to this day, 13 years later, I am still going back there. It's still a pivotal part and a cornerstone of my life, doing water projects and being able to take a coaching retreat this October there and be able to show people the place that helped to change my life. Because it was the time when I took the greatest leap, the quantum leap in my life, to a place that was completely in the unknown, and it absolutely was transformational for how I see the world, how I live my life today, and my ability to lean into the fear, despite what it may be telling me to, hold back on, and to still say yes to my dreams. So it's been a great teaching point for my life, and also to let my yes be yes. It's a lot less confusing when I'm going back and forth for me and everybody involved. And so really sticking to what is it that I would love. And so I have 3 tips for you today to support you on your journey. And there are many things surrounding this, but here's a couple things that you can think about and implement in your own life. If you're looking at making a decision, or you find yourself filled with fear and you have a dream and you're thinking about taking action. So the first tip is to remind yourself of a previous win when you did take action despite the fear. And it all worked out. It's so easy to forget up until now everything that each of us has accomplished. But you have come so far to be where you are today. And you have done so many incredible things already in your life. And so to allow yourself to feel that win that you write down and to really live within it, and what it was like to be back in that moment and experiencing that success. So allow yourself. So first tip is to remind yourself of a previous win and to really allow yourself to feel that experience, and to remind yourself you didn't know how that was going to work out, and it did, and so can this. The second tip for today is, as I mentioned earlier, to remind yourself why you can instead of why you can't.
Ooh, wow.
So if you find yourself saying, I can't do this because, for example, maybe it's I don't have the money. Maybe there's something in your vision of, I would love to take this trip. I love traveling, so that comes to mind. Maybe it's a trip of a lifetime, but you feel yourself saying, but I don't have the money. Repattern this thought, if you catch it when you do, immediately when you do, and ask yourself, maybe you can remind yourself of why you can by saying, I can do this because I live in an abundant universe, and this is absolutely in service of my dreams. That's an example, but try on what fits best for you. So basically take something that is a pain point that's been holding you back, that's a fear, such as I don't have the money and that's why I'm not willing at this moment to lean in, and give yourself, in essence, on the flip side, you could call it an affirmation, but something that's going to be able to encourage you of why you can. Because a lot of us spend a lot of time fighting for why we can't instead of why we can. So let's be our best cheerleaders in that way and our best partner in believing. And the third tip is to remind yourself to take action inspired from the infinite side of your nature by asking yourself the simple question that I'm sure many of us have heard before, but what would I love? It seems so simple, but it's so powerful. It's so powerful because the spirit side of you is connected to something greater than yourself, and that sees all and knows all. And when you find yourself in a moment of making decision related to living a life you would love living, remind yourself that you don't have to figure out how. Just a little bit ago, someone was talking about this great quote from Mary Morrissey that was, it's not our business to know the how, but for us to know that there is, let me see, that there is, let's see here, let me find it. Yeah. So basically, I can't find it, but basically, oh, you are not meant to know the how. You are meant to know the how is known.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a great quote by Mary, isn't it? I think that perfectly illustrates this point. And
Can
and
you
so
say
when you,
that one more time? I know.
yeah, you are not meant to know the how.
Mhm.
You are meant to know the how is known.
Oh, that's great. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So when you find yourself at a moment of making a decision related to living a life you would love, remind yourself of that. And the human side of you also, it wants to keep you safe, but oftentimes it's actually going to end up keeping us stuck because we never know the outcome ahead of time fully. And our human side wants to know that. It wants to make sure we're okay. So, fear aside and letting that go and coming from that infinite side of your nature, asking yourself, what would I love? And leaning into that. And so, those are a couple of tips that you can take away with you. And of course, there's more depth that we could go into with that and so many other tools. But I wanted to leave you with something to work with and a story that showcases, even in its imperfectness, of I did actually lean into fear there for a moment and shifted back, knowing that it's going to be messy at times and that's okay, but continuing to lean into what we would love. And you never know, it could impact the rest of your life. So thank you so much, Judy.
Oh, absolutely. So cool. Thank you so much. And I know that you're leaning in and let your less yes be yes and your no be no. And you've come so far, and you're taking a another trip to Kenya. And I would love to, if you got a few minutes, tell us about this movie
Oh,
that,
yeah.
because I'm like, a movie? Are you kidding me? Tell me more. Tell us, like, in a snippet, because I want to put all that on the page. But tell us about the movie that you said yes to.
Yes, there's a movie, a film that really touched my heart last year that my friend Alicia, I'd worked with her at a previous job, and she's the director of this film. And so this film is all about the hero's journey. It's about a time when this person within the film, his mom is going through cancer and he's lost his other family members. He feels alone in the world and he's navigating, finding his voice within it. And at school, he's being bullied, and it's just a really difficult road that he's traveling on. But making a decision during that film, and I won't get into the details because I don't want to give it away, but making some decisions and seeing in a very tangible way how when we decide to shift our perceptions and our focus, and when we do acts of kindness, how that absolutely can transform not only our lives, but the world around us. And we can visually see that impact on the people's stories, the characters within this film. And it's called Rite of the Shaman, RITE of the Shaman. And nature is definitely a pivotal part of this, and that how the character really has found his takes solace in nature. That's where he feels grounded. And the film is actually played by Alicia's son, who went through cancer, a rare form of cancer that he was not supposed to have overcome, but he did. And nature was where he found a lot of his healing during that time. And so he's also an inspiration behind the film. And there's some reasons of why this film means so much to me. But again, I don't want to give away any of the film itself. But yes, that's going to be in starting in Utah, and we're going to spread out as it gets more traction at Cinemark theaters there and megaplexes. And it's just incredible to be honestly spreading the message of hope. And it's so fun because people have started leaving sticky notes of hope on people's cars in Utah and doing hashtag shaman movie. And that's a part of in the film that is important piece of the puzzle of acts of kindness there. So it's kind of trickling into, we talk about bringing a thought into the physical world, and that's absolutely happening. It's incredible. And 10% of the proceeds are going towards the Children's Hospital to help with cancer treatment. So this film is just, I'm just so grateful to be a part of something that incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for you and for
Yeah.
taking the action and constantly action, action, action. And it does my heart like opens up with all the hope in the world. So what we love to do at the end of, or, thank you for coming on, but we want, as a community of paradigm shifters, we want to put a blessing on you and
Mm,
asking you, what would you love, Erin, to have us hold for you? We're,
yes.
and what would you love? And we're going to put a blessing on you. What would you love?
I would love to have all 3 vans full for my Kenya safari this October. And also while I'm there to locate a retreat center that I would be able to host future trips to, and purchase would be wonderful. Like I would absolutely love that. So as you can tell, Kenya is definitely still a thread within my life, an important aspect. So that's what I would love.
Gotcha. Oh, love it, love it, love it. All right, so here we go. All right, get ready to receive, Erin. Here we go. We're sending some energy your way. There you go. All the way down.
Oh,
There you
thank
go.
you.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
being here, and what an inspiration you are. Looking forward to volume 2 of Short, Sweet, and Sacred, as well as the movie, as well as your Kenya trip, and anything else you dream up from here.
Thank you so much, Judy. It's an honor and a privilege to be here, like I said.
Thank you.